Back in Philadelphia on a 19-degree afternoon for the regular season finale. Common theme at the Eagles facility throughout the week, Rondé. It is Dallas week. What is at stake for the Eagles? A 14-win season. Undefeated season at home, undefeated against their division, and they come in with the #1 ranked rush defense. Cowboys won the toss, elect to defer. Dan Bailey gets things started. This is Kenyon Barner on the return for the Eagles, and he's tackled at the 23-yard line as Nick Foles leads the Philadelphia offense onto the field. His third start for the injured Carson Wentz.
And you got to say, Kenny, that Nick has been a little bit up and down in his starts and his relief duty this year. Last week, obviously not the game that they wanted or expected, especially considering this is going to be not much Nick Foles today, but get a chance here early in the game to see if they can get themselves into any rhythm in their last action of the season.
He was up 2 weeks ago against the Giants, down on Monday night against the Eagles. He connects with Alshon Jeffrey, who did not have a catch in that game against the Raiders on Monday.
Well, if you ask these two, they'll tell you there's no chemistry issue, the quote-unquote chemistry issue between quarterback and receiver. Yeah, he didn't get the ball thrown to him last week or completed to him last week, but I think that was more of a function of the offense failing and not necessarily Nick Foles trying to get the ball to Alshon.
Gain of 8 on first down. 2nd and 2. This is Nelson Agholor who took the handoff from Foles. Agholor out to the 38 before he's tackled by Sean Lee. Picks up an Eagles first down.
Well, what a season has been for Nelson Agholor. The redemptive season, I guess you could say, for a lot of people. A lot of doubts about him coming into this season. We had him week 1, Kenny, and the narrative that he was on the way out, but he's gotten a chance to thrive in the slot this year, and gonna have some happy returns if you're an Eagles fan.
First carry today for LeGarrette Blount. Jay Ajayi is inactive. Blount gains 5 out to the 43.
We'll see a lot of LeGarrette Blount today. Probably get a chance to see Wendell Smallwood, who's active. He's been inactive for a lot of this season, but as much as we mentioned in the open, Kenny, once playoffs start, the season winds down, you got to be able to rely on a bunch of different people.
Off the play fake, Foles connects with his tight end Zach Ertz in Cowboys territory. Another Philadelphia first down, gain of 16.
Now, the one area that the Cowboys defense has been playing well is in the secondary, and want to fool a defense, work play action. Got the underneath linebackers to halt for just a second. Big completion to Zach Ertz.
Leads the Eagles in receptions. 1st and 10 from the Cowboys 42. Off the fake to Blount. Foles hit as he throws. We'll be talking about DeMarcus Lawrence throughout the afternoon, Rondé.
Well, you have to. He's a half a sack from the lead in the NFL, and check the open hand here. I do believe this is correct as an incomplete pass. Arms moving forward.
Marcus Lawrence, 14.5 sacks. Trailing only Chandler Jones of the Arizona Cardinals. He's tied with Calais Campbell for 2nd in the league. This is Blount. And Blount is wrapped up at the 38-yard line by Malik Collins.
You have to be really impressed with what Philadelphia Eagles have done at running back. You bring in LeGarrette Blount in the offseason. You make the trade for Jay Ajayi. You have 2 young runners, Corey Clement and Wendell Smallwood, who I said we'll get a look at. And the way that they've distributed the carries, I think has been outstanding. I mean, you get a guy like Jay Ajayi, really changed the dynamic of the running back room. But the versatility that all these guys bring, I think, is outstanding for this team going forward.
Clement in on 3rd down and 7 as the catch is bobbled and dropped. Torrey Smith, the intended receiver.
Well, I was just going to say, this is the type of rhythm that this offense was looking for out of their quarterback and wide receiver, and this has just got to be a catch. Doesn't get any easier than this. Torrey Smith's going to catch that and probably keep running for a while, working on those underneath coverage of those linebackers. This is interesting, Kenny. They're staying on the field. Their offense is going to stay out on the field on 4th down here, and why not?
Instead of attempting a 56, 57-yard field goal, Eagles have converted on 4th down more than any other team this season. Foles under pressure. He fires, incomplete again. Looking for Torrey Smith, and more pressure from DeMarcus Lawrence. Cowboys will take over. What a series for DeMarcus Lawrence.
3 hits on the quarterback, and he knows what he's chasing. He wants that sack record. He told us yesterday it's important to him. If you're the Eagles, you got to ask yourself the question, how many times are you going to let Nick Foles get hit today before take him out? And obviously they have a backup, and Nate Sudfeld, that hasn't seen any snaps in his pro career yet.
So now Dak Prescott and the Cowboys start from their 39-yard line on 1st down. It is Dez Bryant. Gain of 6. Out to the 45. Brought down by Rasul Douglas.
Well, we came out talking about Zeke Elliott. Kenny needs 120 yards to reach 1,000. You talk about some of those distractions on this team, none bigger than what he had to go through this year. And you ask this football team, it almost feels like it's been 3 parts of the season. Pre-suspension, the 6 weeks that he was out, and now finishing here. A chance to see if Zeke can take advantage of this Eagles defense like nobody's done all year.
Picks up a 1st down to midfield. They went 5-3 pre-suspension, 3-3 while he was out. And then in his return, the loss last Sunday at the hands of the Seahawks.
I don't think there's any question that this team is different with him in the lineup. It took them 3 weeks to figure it out before they got a win during that suspension, but he's a bell cow kind of runner. He can take the pounding, he can run through and around people. His offense definitely functions differently without him.
Off the fake to Elliott. Prescott with time. He throws, it's high. Intended for Bryant. He took a hit from Douglas.
Well, unfortunately, it's a great route with a bad delivery by Dak Prescott. He's got Rasul Douglas twisted around here. And if this ball is anywhere on target, it's a big completion for Dez Bryant. But it's high and away and incomplete. And that's been the issue a little bit with this Dallas Cowboys offense, this passing offense especially. Dak Prescott's been a little bit off this entire season. And you can tell, really, some frustration on the offense.
On 2nd and 10, Elliott gets swallowed up. 3rd down and long upcoming. Prescott, terrific rookie season, went to the Pro Bowl. Look at his numbers last week in the loss to Seattle.
Oh, you look at the completion percentage and say, well, that's not too bad of a day. But the 2 interceptions were killers for this offense, and his rating is way low. Just didn't do enough. There was 3 or 4 plays where he had to be on and he wasn't. And when you saw his press conference after, he was telling everybody he didn't want to go out the way he did in that last game, so he was definitely playing today.
On 3rd and 10, Prescott over the middle. And it will depend on the spot. Looks like it is marked just short. Jason Witten makes the catch. Needed to get to the 40 for a 1st down.
He had to come back to catch that football just a little bit to beat the coverage. And I don't know if any tight end in football has been as good at doing this than Jason Witten. He's so big, just boxes out people out, sure-handed, and sets them up for 4th down. They're going to go forward as well here on the 40-yard line.
4th and 1 with Elliott in the backfield, 3 tight ends. The handoff to Ezekiel Elliott, and he will not get there. Vinny Curry leading the charge for the Eagles defense. So both teams go for it on 4th down. Both unsuccessful. Eagles have clinched the #1 seed, home field throughout the NFC playoffs. They have not lost at home this season. They won 9 straight here at the Link, dating back to last year.
It's a tough place to play, Kenny. It's not just Link, it's this city. These guys love it. They're braving the cold. They don't care. They're going to come out and root on their Eagles. And yeah, it's a tough task for anybody in the NFC. It's hard to really pinpoint a favorite. Everybody really seems equal, but we all know they got to come through here. And if the weather's anything like it is today, good luck.
Last perfect season at home for the Eagles, 1992. From the 42, off the fake to Clement. Foles under pressure again. It's DeMarcus Lawrence.
Of course it's DeMarcus Lawrence. Who else would it be, Kenny? This guy has been dynamic all year long, rushing the passer. And this is trying to get Selleck across to block him. That's just a mismatch. He is inches away from a caused fumble there, and it would be his 15th and a half sack.
The Eagles have run 9 plays, 4 times Lawrence in the face of Nick Foles.
Lane Johnson is playing right tackle over there today. He's got his hands full. Probably the best matchup of the day.
On 2nd and 10, it's Blunt. Anthony Hitchens makes the tackle as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kenny. We head to Minnesota. Vikings' first drive of the game. Latavius Murray finds his way into the end zone for a 1-yard score. Minnesota, of course, clinches a first-round bye with the win. They've got the lead right now, 7-0. Kenny, Rondé, Christina.
Thanks, Carissa. Super Bowl, of course, in Minneapolis. Eagles have clinched the number 1 seed. Vikings clinch the number 2 seed in the NFC with a win over the Bears. 3rd down and 12. Movement prior to the snap.
It's a well-executed hard count by veteran quarterback.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Voice inflections. Great picture. Sorry, Collins, you got you. It makes this 3rd down much more manageable for them, Kenny. 3rd and 6. This is the area where obviously got to be keeping an eye on Zach Ertz, kind of the inline tight end on this formation. Favorite target of this offense on 3rd down.
Eagles must get to the Cowboys 48 for a first down, and they will not pass in the direction of the tight end, Trey Burton.
Well, he can't even get off the line of scrimmage here. Ertz, he's chipping DeMarcus Lawrence, of course, because you don't want him to get in the backfield and then stumbles, and he's looking for Trey Burton on this out route, and he also falls. Nowhere to deliver the ball. Cowboys are off on 3rd down.
Foles heads off the field. Donnie Jones out to punt.
I think at this rate, we're going to see a little bit more Nick Foles than we expected.
Rookie out of North Carolina, Ryan Switzer is back deep. He will let it bounce. As Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field here in Philly. Regular season finale in Philadelphia. Ezekiel Elliott on first down, leans forward, gains a couple, and we head down to the field for the first time. Say hello to Christina Pink. Christina.
Hey, Kenny, what you see there? This Eagles defense certainly not lacking for motivation. Every single player on the defense knows well aware that Ezekiel Elliott is 120 yards away from 1,000. Fletcher Cox told us we can't let that happen. We've been stressing it throughout the week. They certainly have a lot of respect for him as a player, but as Chris Long told me in warm-ups, everyone says this is a meaningless game. Well, that's a little of the game within the game.
All right, thanks, Christina. Eagles wanted a flag. 2nd down and 8. Prescott again looking for Dez Bryant.
Well, trying to win the one-on-one matchup down here with Darby, and Dez throws him into a little bit of a trouble. Safety's converging. You would say that's one that you would expect Dez to catch, but A lot of traffic in there. Darby's been a great addition. We had that game week 1 where he dislocated his ankle, missed a lot of time, got some other reps from other corners in this secondary. But if you want to say why the strength of this defense is, it's definitely down there.
Another pass sails away from Bryant on 3rd down and 8. Cowboys will punt it away.
Well, that's 2 series now that we've seen Dak sail a couple of balls out to Des Bryant. It feels to me anyways that they are trying to force feed him a little bit, get him involved. Well reported the discontent, I guess, that Des is having, especially with some of the ways that he's being perceived. They're clearly trying to get him involved early.
Chris Jones punting from his 17-yard line. Barner back deep for the Eagles. He will let it go. Takes a Cowboys roll and will be down at the 17-yard line. First quarter in Philadelphia, 56-yard punt. Sudfeld warming up, no score. 3rd offensive series for Nick Foles, and the Eagles completed his first 2 pass attempts. Since then, he is 0 for 5. Remember, he did not play at all during preseason following an elbow injury, no reps in camp. And then after the injury suffered by Carson Wentz, this is 3rd start. Eagles will have a bye next week, and then it will be Foles for the divisional round game in 2 weeks.
I'll still contend it's nice to have a guy that is familiar with some of the players on this team. He's played meaningful snaps in this league. Been up and down, I could say, in his career, but it's better than having a rookie under center.
From the 18 on 1st down, catch is made by Ertz, and he's thrown to the ground by Sean Lee out at the 28, close to a 1st down.
We know we're going to see a lot of Ertz now and throughout the playoffs, and the comfort level is clearly there with this player. He needs to get there with the others, but going back to Nick Foles, he's just got to own this opportunity. He's not Carson Wentz. The processing is much slower. He's a lesser athlete, I guess you could say. Doesn't make him any less of a quarterback, but the things that Carson Wentz were doing under center for this team made him an MVP candidate. Nick Foles is definitely not that, but he's got to take advantage of this opportunity and run this team in his image.
On 2nd and 1 is Blunt. Aaron Blunt picks up the 1st down to Los Angeles. Carissa.
Thank you, Kenny. First possession of the game, Dion Lewis caps off a 13-play, 75-yard drive with that score right there. Patriots clinch the #1 seed in the AFC with the win. They got the lead 7-0. Kenny?
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. Patriots look for their 13th win. Eagles aiming for their 14th. New set of downs for Philadelphia from the 29-yard line. Foles in trouble with the snap, and then he falls on it.
It's cold outside. Kenny, you think that had anything to do with this? Ball hit him right in the mitts.
And his center, Jason Kelce, after the game Monday, said that he was not happy with some of his snaps in the game against the Raiders.
Well, obviously, the mechanics, the center quarterback exchange from under and from shotgun are going to be different. Kelce's a fantastic center. There's no question about it. He's a professional. He does his job well, but these two got to get on the same page, just like much of the rest of this offense.
Second down and 14. Falls under pressure, fires downfield, and it is picked off by Chidobe Awuzie. His first NFL interception.
Oh, he couldn't have got any easier interception. The Cowboys are just playing cover 2 in the secondary. Nick Foles with the pressure on him, tries to escape out of the pocket. This is just a forced throw. The one thing that he's been doing well is protecting the football. Only 1 interception in those games. See the reroute outside, and then he just sinks because there's nobody in the flat to pull him up. Nick Foles tries to force it to Alshon Jeffrey. It's a takeaway for this Dallas defense. And we talked to Rod Marinelli. I talked to Joe Baker, their secondary coach. The one thing they said about this young group of corners and safeties that are playing is they need to catch the ball, the ones that are thrown to them. They got an early takeaway here.
Awuzie, the rookie out of Colorado, 2nd-round pick. His first, only the 10th interception, to your point, Rondé, by the Cowboys this season. In game number 16. From the 48, following the takeaway, Elliott pitches it back to Terrence Williams. And Williams crosses midfield, stays on his feet, and picks up a first down.
Good little play design here. Everybody's obviously going to be keying on Zeke. He just turn around and flip it out to Terrence Williams. He got a good block there by Noah Brown. Get him those last couple of yards to pick up that first down. I like when they get excited. I like when offensive coordinators pull out the bottom of the last page playbook type plays. Let's see a lot of those here today for the Dallas Cowboys.
The market just shy, so it's second down and 1. Here's Elliott, and he gets forced back. Najee Good makes the play for the Eagles.
Najee Good's mostly a special teams player. I played with Najee in Tampa when he first got in the league, and he is a pro's pro, man. He knows how to play this game, reads his keys there, and gets a tough back on the ground. You know, Zeke Elliott is probably one of the best jump cutters in football, getting laterally and breaking tackles, but not able to escape the grasp of Najee Good. Tackle for loss, sets up a 3rd and 4.
Sidney Jones on the field for the Eagles, making his NFL debut. Coming off IR, matched up bottom of the screen with Des Bryant. As Prescott throws, and it will be short as Rasul Douglas comes up to make the tackle, so the Cowboys will send out the punting unit.
I tell you what, Kenny, this Eagles defense is missing 5 starters, or sitting down 5 starters. But you see the mentality that they play with, especially in the secondary. I was getting ready for this game, and 7 guys have 2 or more interceptions on this team. They are aggressive, they're competitive, they compete with each other. You already see it early in this football game.
You got to look at defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. His name being thrown around as a possible head coach next season, former head coach of the Lions. As the punt rolls into the end zone for a touchback. When you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, you get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak For Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays, 5 Eastern only on FS1.
And when you're successful, Kenny, teams want to come after you. Both coordinators. Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sure he'll get some consideration too, but yeah, the rumor mill is already swirling on Schwartz's opportunity, and talk that he might get an interview next week with the New York Giants during their bye week, and really that's the only time he can do it. So
right, reports indicate that could take place as early as tomorrow, as the Giants are finishing up their season today, hosting the Redskins. Blunt, he's stopped by Tyrone Crawford after a gain of 2.
I think it's important for LeGarrette Blunt to get a lot of carries today, Kenny. I know he's lost some opportunities to Jay Ajayi when he came in. Really, he's been the starter, but Jay Ajayi has been the main runner. And get late in the season, we've seen it many times. If you watch New England over the years with him, end of season, he could be a battering ram, could be a difference maker as a running back.
3 receivers to the right side on 2nd and 7, and the play is blown dead.
Ball start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Zach Ertz jumped. A look at the Eagles stable of running backs. They are 2nd in the league. They run for 136 yards per game.
And the biggest thing about this graphic is just the distribution of yardage. I think I'm surprised that Corey Clement, who's only got 300 yards, has the most touchdowns. Just shows how versatile and how Deuce Staley, the running back coach, deploys that talented group of runners.
2nd down and 12 following the penalty. This is Clement out of the backfield. The flag is thrown as Clement takes it up the sidelines. But we will check once again with the referee, John Parry.
I think it's going to be a block in the back. Kelsey.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Hey, and look, he's very athletic, Kelsey is, and he's coming from a long way. And it's that little touch in the back, and doesn't look like much from that picture. From that picture, it definitely does. Pushed him by the runner. And you got to feel for him. He's coming from a long way, and he knows he's not in position to make the play, but it sets him back 15 yards. We got a 2nd and 21. Kenny, what do you do here?
I think you hand it off.
I wanted you to give me a dynamic answer, like a double reverse, stack, something.
3 receivers to the right.
That's what you do.
That was good. Here's Foles on 2nd and 21, and that pass is off the hand of Torrey Smith.
He didn't listen to you, and he almost threw another interception here. Torrey Smith actually does a decent job knocking this thing away. I think it's from Xavier Woods. Yeah, I mean, that ball was going to hit him in the chest. He was going to walk in for a touchdown, but Torrey Smith does a good job deflecting and playing defender. And say it again, they're struggling on offense. Started well, the drive was progressing since then, clearly in reverse.
3rd down and 21. Foles just 3 for 10 in this first quarter. Now 4 of 11. It's Aguilar. And he will not get there. That's Oluje, who had the interception earlier with the hit. As the Cowboys surround Nelson Aguilar.
You might like the interception. I like the physicalness.
And now Alshon Jeffrey comes in to defend his teammate. And now many other Eagles come over as well.
Take a listen to this hit right here, Kenny. We talked to DeMarcus Lawrence yesterday and asked him what has been the biggest impressive thing about this defense, and he said, we got physical corners. And I know Rod Marinelli, the way the defense that they want to play is very similar to the type of defense that we played when I was at Tampa with him. And you have to have corners that are willing to come up, put their face on people, and be enforcers on the edge. And it seems like they have that here in Dallas now with these young guys.
2 seconds remaining in the first quarter as the Cowboys take over with excellent field position. Eagles best record in the NFC, sending 6 to the Pro Bowl.
Well, with success comes recognition, and really, Kenny, the best thing about playoff football is that you get a chance to build the stories of some of these guys. Carson Wentz, obviously, with the season he's had, Zach Ertz and Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks get to tell their story. First-time Pro Bowlers. I know they're hoping they don't get a chance to play in this
right,
game.
Exactly. Week before the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys back on the field, start from their 44-yard line. Final play of the first quarter. It's Elliott, cuts it back inside and is out to the 48-yard line for a gain of 4. Week 17, no score, 1 quarter in the books in Philadelphia. What a job Doug Peterson has done his second season as Eagles head coach. As we check out the first quarter numbers, only 32 total yards for Jason Garrett's Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott needing 120 coming into the game for 1,000. Just 6 yards on the ground in the first quarter as that pass from Prescott could not be handled by the rookie out of Ohio State, Noah Brown.
Well, we came in looking for that 120 from Zeke Elliott. Going nowhere fast with those numbers, and much of that credit goes up front to the Eagles defense, and they're without their studs. Brandon Graham's not playing. Tim Jernigan is out. Rookie Derek Barnett isn't playing, so you can tell it's more of a schematic thing, an attitude thing with this Philly defense. It's carrying the load today.
They're down at 7. Prescott under pressure, being chased by Bo Allen, and he reaches out, but he'll be marked down short. Marked down at the 48-yard line, chased out by Michael Kendricks.
Watch Byron Bell. He does a great job here on Chris Long. Pushing the pocket, but keeps him away and gives Dak Prescott just enough time to escape, and I think he's going to be short of that line to gain. The officials are marking it really about 2 yards short, I think, Kenny, if I'm looking at it right.
And you mentioned some of those Eagles defensive players not in uniform today. Also Nigel Bradham, Jalen Mills, Rodney McLeod. Brandon Graham is hurt. The other 4 starters plus Derek Barnett deactivated.
Yep.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Cowboys take 5 extra yards prior to the punt. Cowboys a 13-win season last year. Dak Prescott told us yesterday, we have all the pieces. We can be the best team in the NFL.
I don't think there's any question about that. Look at what they have on the offensive side of the ball, skill-wise, and then what they've added on defense and the emergence of a DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, yeah.
But this year it's been the Eagles with the best record, thanks in large part to their injured quarterback, Carson Wentz, who still leads the NFL in touchdown passes. You have to throw Tom Brady into the mix. How about Todd Gurley out in Los Angeles with the Rams? And Carson Wentz. Eagles went 11-2 with Wentz at the helm.
Well, you never know, Kenny. I think in a lot of people's minds, it's Tom Brady until it's not Tom Brady, but this could be the year. And speaking of quarterbacks, got a new one in for Philadelphia.
His first regular season action in the NFL, Nate Sudfeld on relief of Nick Foles. Eagles start from the 7-yard line. Sudfeld's first pass is caught by Aguilar off the sideline and then forced out of bounds. So who exactly is Nate Sudfeld? Drafted by the Washington Redskins in the 6th round back in 2016 out of Indiana University, where he set the all-time school records, Rondé, in passing yards and touchdown throws.
Well, I don't work with you in the preseason, but we, Kenny and I, had the opportunity to see this guy at Tampa play his last preseason game, and he lit it up. He played well in his opportunity to start there, and you got to have some high expectations. You got to give him some snaps just in case your other quarterback goes down.
Well, Garrett Blunt on 2nd and 6 picks up an Eagles first down.
You're looking at Foles' numbers. They weren't pretty again. 4-11, 39 yards with that bad interception. But they have a week to figure it out still. And I still think, Kenny, when I look at this team, they're going to win on defense, especially late in the year. Bad weather, as we mentioned, it's obvious that they're playing 2 games here at home. But I don't think they'll walk out of this game feeling confident, at least the national perception about the quarterback play today.
Sudfeld complete. Back Hollins. Rookie out of North Carolina. Hollins gains 9, so Sudfeld completes his first 2 pass attempts in the NFL.
Oh, this was good patience by Sudfeld there. He's getting pressured. Had to wait for the jumping DeMarcus Lawrence to come to the ground, and it made a nice little adjusted arm delivery.
2nd and 1, it's Blunt. Blunt picks up another first down. So Sudfeld spent all of last year with the Redskins, did not get into a game. Behind Kirk Cousins and Colt McCoy, Redskins had them on the practice squad, but then the Eagles came calling and they signed him to their active roster.
Well, you need him. His film is good. Like I said, we saw him in the preseason. All you got to do is go back and look at his time at Indiana University and know that he's competent, smart guy, very capable and calm in the pocket. You've seen that already in 2 pass attempts. So this will be a good audition for him.
Sudfeld trips, and he's down at the 31.
Tried to get out of the pocket here. Somebody's going to steal a sack for the Dallas Cowboys. Not DeMarcus Lawrence. He's not on the field.
Now he's back out there. 14.5 for DeMarcus Lawrence. Now Sean Lee comes up to make the tackle. As we head back to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. We go to Minnesota, already up 7-0 in the second. Latavius Murray gets his second touchdown of the day on this 1-yard score. Vikings lead 14-0. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Carissa. 3rd and long. 3rd down and 13. Coming up here for the Eagles.
Thanks to Sean Lee. I mean, got it. Carissa broke in on what would have been a good highlight to show what this guy is to this defense. Love these situations with the Cowboys defense. 3rd and long.
Sudfeld throws far side. Marcus Johnson makes the catch, but there is a flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
That's Big V, the left tackle, Rondé. Alapuli Vati Vaitai.
I thought you weren't going to say his first name. Yeah, atop of your screen, working on Crawford, and as Crawford swims through him, he grabs and brings to the ground. Sudfeld had a lot of time there. Would have been a nice completion on 3rd and long. Now you got 3rd forever with the young quarterback, first time under center. Pretty much expect screen, draw, something safe here.
3rd down and 23 following the penalty. Minutes in, second quarter from the 19-yard line. They set up the screen. And it's taken out across the 30 to the 32-yard line by Barner. Lewis the tackle. So the Eagles will punt it away.
Been a defensive game so far. And obviously the weather might have something to do with the incompletions on either side of this offenses today, but good job getting off on 3rd and long there for Dallas.
Eagles' second highest scoring team in the league, over 30 points per game. Shutout to this point. Cowboys now 7 straight games. They have been blanked in the first quarter. Switzer lets it bounce. Cowboys are pinned deep. How about Nate Sudfeld? Slipping and sliding, but he completed his first 3 NFL pass attempts. Dak Prescott following an incredible rookie season. Some of the numbers, Rondé, heading in the opposite direction this year.
Well, there's no question that Dak has to improve as a quarterback for this team to go to the next level, because you never know when Zeke Elliott's going to have a down day. Can't always rely on the running game, which this team does so heavily.
Cowboys start from the 12-yard line. It's Elliott. Again, not much.
Like today. Zeke Elliott 7 for 7. That's not going to win. Play action's going to have to take over. And to be honest with you, Dak Prescott, they don't have a lot of it in this offense. Play action passes, and I think it could help a guy like Dak if this offense evolves more, allows him to become a better passer. But until then, you're going to see that decline. We saw it all year this year.
2nd and 10. Off the fake to Elliott. Prescott taken down inside the 5-yard line by Stephen Means.
Stephen Means out of Buffalo, right? I think that's the school he went to. And hadn't played a bunch this year, but he's getting some opportunities now. Right there at the end of the line of scrimmage. Watch his inside move on Collins. No competition at all there. He came in unscathed, easy sack. Sets him back inside the 5-yard line on 3rd and long.
His first sack this season, 2nd of his career. 3rd down and 16. Prescott from the end zone connects with Elliott out of the backfield, cuts to his right, then back the other way. It is brought down at the 16-yard line, so the Cowboys will punt it away for the 4th consecutive series.
Well, it all works together, Kenny. You stop Zeke Elliott on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. You get a sack after that and put yourself in a situation where all you got to do is sit back and play coverage and come up and make tackles. And you want to find a modus operandi for the Philadelphia Eagles defense, that's it.
Jones punting from his 5. Taking on the run by Barner in Cowboys territory. Following another nice stand by the Eagles defense and the sack by Stephen Means. What a season it has been. You look back at last year's playoff teams in the NFL, Rondé. There will be 8 new teams in the postseason.
Well, we know the Falcons have a win-and-in scenario this afternoon. That'll be one that'll be a repeat, obviously. But yeah, it's been a year of change. Both the AFC and the NFC. This team, Dallas Cowboys, again with those expectations. You ask them, they'll say, well, each year is a different year. I don't think there's any question. This has been a disappointing one for everybody that was expecting this Cowboys team to take that next step.
Absolutely. Now they hope to win today and finish 9-7. That's the first incomplete pass thrown by Sudfeld, intended for Mac Hollins.
This just went right through Mac Hollins' arms. This was well executed. Had the receiver, made a good delivery. It's cold out there, Kenny.
Yes, it is. We were down on the field pregame.
Oh, boy.
You stayed longer than I did.
Yes, I did. I wouldn't be like Mac Hollins. I'd have sleeves on right now. That's for sure.
Second down and 10. LeGarrette Blount up the middle, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line of the Cowboys. No sleeves for Mac Hollins. Anthony Brown. Marcus Johnson going sleeveless.
I was a no-sleeve guy as long as it wasn't on turf. What they do have down there that our unfortunate sideline reporter Christina Pink does not have is those warm benches to sit on.
Christina prepared with hand warmers, foot warmers. Third down and 5. Neither team has converted on third down today as Sudfeld is sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. Guess who, Rondé? DeMarcus Lawrence.
Well,
along with Dayton Jones.
Yeah, Dayton Jones beat his man too. And DeMarcus Lawrence just screaming off the edge. Good rush move there. That jump move, he does better than anybody. Lane Johnson is out of the football game. Will Beatty is in there at right tackle now. And I think he's look at rip his pants off. Rip his pants off before he goes punt. I don't think I've ever seen that, Kenny. Everybody else is no sleeves. He's got 3 layers on.
Never happened to you? Switzer lets it bounce. And it's down inside the 5. And Johnny Jones remembered to take them back to the sideline.
He's like, oh, wait a minute. I still got these on. Oh, it's great. It's
I love
cold.
the game so far.
It's cold, Kenny.
Tremendous history between these longtime rivals. Buddy Ryan, Reggie White. Eagles beat the Cowboys 37-9 back in mid-November. They scored 30 unanswered points in the second half of that game. No score today. Here's Elliott.
Nothing going. Dallas in the running game today. First 5 possessions. Went forward on that first series, 4th down, failed, and then 3 and out. Look at those 3 and outs. 4 in a row. Trying to establish the run early in every series and failing. Zeke Elliott, 8 carries, 8 yards.
Cowboys have 1 first down. It was on their first possession. Second down and 9 as Prescott throws. This is Switzer. Switzer out to the 11. Sidney Jones made the tackle. No Cole Beasley for the Cowboys today under the weather. Did not make the trip, so we've seen a little more than usual from Ryan Switzer here in the first half. 4th round pick out of North Carolina. Here's Sidney Jones. He was out with a torn Achilles. 2nd round pick by the Eagles, making his NFL debut today.
Interesting that they decided to bring him off of that list and put him in the football game. And you gotta be happy that this kid who tore his Achilles probably going to be a top 10 talent getting a chance to play.
Third down and 3. Catches made by Switzer for only the second Dallas Cowboys first down of this first half.
Oh, that's a great route. This is very Cole Beasley-ish. This option route out of the slot is tough to defend with quick, jittery type receivers. He ran a great route. Dak was right on time with the throw.
Jason Garrett told us yesterday, we asked him about Switzer. He said he has a lot of Cole Beasley's traits.
And confidence,
yes.
I think he added as well.
2 catches coming into the game, has 2 today. Penalty marker as Elliott did not handle the handoff. Eagles recover, but we will check with referee John Parry. The Eagles had it initially, and then James Hanna fell on top of it.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Here's the exchange, and really that shouldn't happen. And look at Vinny Curry.
Vinny had it taken away by James Hanna.
They had it taken away by the flag anyway.
Yep,
but
would not have mattered. 4th Eagles penalty. Elliott to the sidelines. Alfred Morris in for the Cowboys. First down and 5 following the penalty. Prescott spins away from trouble. Another penalty marker. Prescott fires downfield, looking for Des Bryant, who makes the catch. And that is tackled by Rasul Douglas, but
it's coming back.
We'll check with John Parry.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Yes, it is coming back. Byron Bell, guilty Cowboy, negating a 52-yard pass play.
You'll see Byron Bell, and this is a clear hole, working on Vinny Curry. As soon as he gets past, this is where Byron Bell really struggles. Edge speed, he just cannot deal with very well. Doesn't have the feet, doesn't kick set well enough at times, and negates probably the biggest play Des has seen in a long time. 52-yard completion off the books.
Would have been his longest of the season. First and 15. From the 12-yard line, it's Elliott. Cuts to the outside. Gets past Sidney Jones. And then is forced out of bounds after picking up a Cowboys first down at the 28, a gain of 16.
Great blocking on the edge by these 2 tight ends here. And then you're going to get another block coming in from Noah Brown again. And then Ezekiel Elliott just has this ability. Doesn't look like he has that kind of speed, but he's a glider when he goes laterally. He's able to use his power and strength to get by. And best run of the day for Ezekiel Elliott's Cowboys offense.
Here's Elliott again, and this will take us to the 2-minute warning. Elliott out to the 32-yard line. Regular season finale. Still no score in Philadelphia. Thursday night at FS1, college basketball tips off 7:30 Eastern. Maryland takes on number 2 Michigan State. You can also stream it live on Fox Sports Go. We are scoreless. Rondé here in Philadelphia. The last time the Cowboys played a scoreless first half against the Lions back in 2002. Hasn't happened for the Eagles since 1998. Out west against the Cardinals and Bears and Broncos, December of 2011. Denver won the game in overtime behind Tim Tebow, 13-10. We are 2 minutes away from matching that. Second down and 6. Prescott steps up, takes off, has a first down, slides out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 10.
Jim Schwartz decides to run a corner blitz. It's going to come in from the left side of your screen, but look, there's bad lane distribution by the rushers. Good job up front, creating a little gap. Dak takes what is given, picks up first down.
Pass caught out at the 46-yard line. Terrence Williams, his second reception. Cowboys have all 3 timeouts. A minute 20 remaining in the first half here in Philadelphia. Prescott looking, can't find anyone. Under pressure from Vinny Curry, and Bo Allen throws it into the turf.
It's hard to find a rhythm out here. I don't know why they're struggling to get open, but good coverage on the back end. Really no outlet, no check down for Dak Prescott to find. You got to dump it away.
3rd down and 6. Top of the screen, Des Bryant matched up with Sidney Jones, penalty marker. Prescott over the middle, caught for a first down by Switzer. Net of 12, we'll check on the flags. It's against the Eagles.
Offside. Defense. Number 75. Penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
That's Vinny Curry, so Switzer with his 3rd reception picks up a first.
Trying to get anxious here. Vinny Curry just falls into the neutral zone. That's the flag, but one guy that Dak Prescott's found a rhythm with on this drive, at least, their last 2 drives, has been Ryan Switzer, looking on him to slide.
Now Prescott going deep, looking for Bryant. Tried to make the adjustment. With Douglas and Watkins defending.
Coverage was good. Rasul Douglas has had to play a lot of snaps at corner in his rookie year, and I think he's done a really good job. And I gotta be honest with you, that ball probably caught something in the wind, caught a gust and fell short of Des Bryant. There's Cooper, left guard for the Cowboys, just going to get rolled up on here. Watch as Vinny Curry goes to the ground. You can see that his left knee just kind of buckles under the weight. That did not look good, Kenny.
Cowboys already missing Tyron Smith, their left tackle. Cowboys sending 3 offensive linemen to the Pro Bowl. Smith, Travis Frederick, and Zach Barton. Back in 30 seconds after this message from Lowe's. Jonathan Cooper, who has started 13 games for the Cowboys this season, tended to by the medical staff. He'll be replaced by Joe Looney, the former 49er and Titan. Cooper will be helped off. We head back to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Patriots trying to lock up that number 1 seed. Up 7-3 in the second. Tom Brady finds Brandon Cooks for the 5 yards touchdown. They're up currently 14-3. Kenny, Ron Anderson.
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. So the Patriots out on top, 14-3. Clinch home field throughout the AFC playoffs with the victory today.
Pittsburgh's leading in that game. They're not even playing anybody against Cleveland. You hate to see a guy get hurt last game of the season. I know this has been the year of injury, but week 17, tough time to get hurt.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 43 of the Eagles. Prescott throws, it's Witten. Another flag.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty replay, 2nd down.
It's that same matchup from earlier. He's clearly got his hands full with Vinny Curry. This rush move, and Vinny Curry's production is, I wouldn't say it was what these other guys have done in the rush game, but done a great job pushing the pocket this year, and as a result, a lot of other guys on this D-line have benefited. He's having himself a day today. He's getting the best of Byron Bell on this drive.
The 11th play of the drive for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 20. That pass intended for Elliott. 47 seconds remaining. Third and long coming up.
Trying to find a check down. Zeke Elliott, little scat protection. Just off the mark. And Zeke slipped a little bit on the turf. I'll say this, I was down when we were down on the field. The turf's not bad. This is one of the better fields for this time of year. The weather that's up here, it's not frozen. They have the heat pumps underneath. So never going to be a issue. And this is Williams on the sideline. He hurt himself on that last play as well.
We're down at 20. Prescott steps up, throws. Down at the 45-yard line is Witten. And now a timeout is taken by the Eagles with 40 seconds remaining. As we check in with Kurt, what's coming up at halftime?
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll catch you up on every team's playoff outlook, including the Patriots looking to ring in the new year with the #1 seed, and the Steelers trying to hold off the Browns. What would a Visa Halftime promo be without me wearing silly headgear? The Visa Halftime is next. Happy New Year! It didn't work! Happy New Year! There we go. Oh!
Kurt Michael ready to celebrate.
Only Michael can mess up. Easy pop. New Year's Eve celebration.
I think Kurt will keep that hat on for the rest of the show, rest of the day.
I hope he does.
He's a halftime report.
Oh.
Jones punting from the 45. Taking out the 10 by Barner. So the Eagles offense back out on the field with 31 seconds remaining. Quarterback Nate Sudfeld. We mentioned he could have stayed with the Redskins on their practice squad, but took the chance with the Eagles. Started on the Philadelphia practice squad. Felt he had an opportunity here. And then sure enough, elevated to the active roster. The injury suffered by Carson Wentz, and suddenly he's the #2.
Well, you don't expect to get an opportunity probably this year with Carson Wentz the way he was playing. Obviously, you have Nick Foles as a veteran backup, which is a guy necessarily that you need, but they're fortunate to have a Nick Sudfeld hanging around on their practice squad. You can bring him up, Nate Sudfeld, sorry, and bring him up, get towards a postseason. This experience is invaluable for him in a lot of different ways.
This is Blunt. Eagles keep it on the ground, and LeGarrette Blunt is close to a first down. Eagles use their second timeout. Sudfeld's brother Zach spent some time in the NFL, tied in with the Jets. His parents are here today, his brothers. First regular season action. Looked good in the preseason with the Redskins.
Yep.
Started this game 3 for 4, 27 yards.
I don't think anybody, and obviously he doesn't have a lot of tape out there, so only perspective that we have is, from the coaching staff, from Nick Foles, who we asked him about. He said, yeah, he's mentally tough, fundamentally sound. He's got a strong arm, can pump the ball down the field when you need to. And like I said, this opportunity for him, get some valuable snaps in a real game, is just going to be invaluable for him as he develops in his career.
Screen to Blunt on 2nd and 1. Blunt picks up a first down out across the 30 to the 33. Eagles use their third and final timeout with 14 seconds remaining. Both teams went for it on 4th down on their first possession. They were both stopped. First time that has happened in the NFL since '98. Eagles at the Redskins. 12 total possessions. 9 punts. Both teams stopped on 4th down and the one Dallas interception.
We're searching for something, Kenny. Putting up those graphics. This has been ugly on offense today by both teams. And a lot of incompletions, can't get the run game going, either teams.
11 first downs combined.
Did I mention it's cold out there?
I think I heard that.
Yeah.
Eagles out of timeouts. Sudfeld spins. And now he throws. Aguilar makes the catch, and the clock will wind down and take us to the end of a scoreless first half in Philadelphia. Let's take a look at some fun from Week 16. Sounds from the field, brought to you by Walmart.com, now offering free 2-day shipping.
Hey, let's go score. Let's finish. Hey! There's only one thing you can say.
You're a Ric Flair guy, Rondé, right?
Oh, yeah.
No score in Philly. Visa halftime report coming up. Fires downfield, and it is picked off by Chinedu Awuzie. Prescott taken down inside the 5-yard line by Stephen Means as Sudfeld is sacked back at the 44-yard line. Back in Philadelphia, we get set for the second half. No score. Eagles and Cowboys. Philadelphia heading into the postseason. Rondé as the #1 seed without Carson Wentz. Nick Foles struggled on Monday night. What'd you see from him in the first quarter today?
Well, not many answers really in that first quarter on offense for Nick Foles or this offense, to be honest with you. It was more of the same, more struggles. He threw a bad interception that we saw and just really couldn't find a rhythm. I think the question you ask yourself, if you're a Eagles fan, is how do you win under these circumstances? Now, you lose your starting quarterback, possibly an MVP candidate, and I think we're seeing how they're going to win. Play great defense, holding the Dallas starters to 107 yards in the first half. That is winning football, and I think that's going to be the way that they get this done in the postseason.
Well, Nick Foles has started a postseason game for the Eagles before, and Foles will be at the helm in 2 weeks when the Eagles host a divisional playoff game here at the Link. Ryan Switzer on the return for the Cowboys. Cuts to the outside. And is out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So Cowboys offense, Dak Prescott back onto the field as we head downstairs to Christina.
Hey, Kenny. Well, we know it's Nate Sudfeld the rest of the way, but I did ask Doug Peterson, what did you get from Nick Foles in that first quarter? He said it's tough to tell with limited reps, but he did think that some drop balls hurt the offense in the first half. Obviously, they stifled Ezekiel Elliott with their defense. He said our defensive line is just getting great penetration. Talking to Jason Garrett, he said we have to continue to stop the run defensively, but they need to get a turnover here at some point in the second half.
All right, thanks, Christina. Cowboys start from the 23. Ezekiel Elliott, first down and more. Elliott in the first half only 28 yards on 10 carries on his first touch here in the second half. Rondé gains 25.
You could think Jason Witten, look at the block he makes there on the edge. Najee Goods just a step behind to get to Zeke Elliott. This is the type of explosive run you kind of expect from him. Second game back, probably still trying to find his rhythm. Still chasing that 120 yards to get to 1,000.
That's the first 20-plus yard play on either side today. As Elliott gained 25 on first down. Looking for more. The second effort by Elliott. He crosses midfield. And he's tackled after a gain of 3 at the Eagles' 49.
Well, Zeke Elliott's the kind of back that really just gets going more and more the more you feed him, and able to run through tackles a lot. I mean, you see how easily he runs through tackles. Look at his lower body and his strength in his upper body. Makes him one of the best runners in this league.
48 yards on his last 4 carries. Now 64 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. Prescott, too far for Terrence Williams.
Oh, he had him too. Guess what this was if you're an Eagles fan? Double move, Sidney Jones. He bought the cheese, wide open. Ball's just a little too far delivered. Dak knows it. That has been the biggest fear of Eagles fans when you're talking about this secondary. No matter who it's been, whether it's been Ronald Darby or Jalen Mills, they're aggressive. And I think Jim Schwartz allows them to be aggressive and take those opportunities. The offensive has started to take advantage of them of late.
Third down and 7. Cowboys must get to the 42. Prescott under pressure. He throws, and it's off the hands of Switzer.
That got hit hard. This defense doesn't blitz a lot, but they bring 6. And Vinny Curry goes low. Get Corey Graham going high. Forces that incompletion. Guess what, Kenny? We have another punt.
The Jones boys have been busy. The punters, Donnie and Chris. That kick by Chris Jones bounces into the end zone. He took off his sweatpants. No scoring, Rondé, so we may as well keep up with the Joneses, the punters. 10 combined punts so far today. None from Jerry, by the way.
I see what you did there, Kenny. Well done. Well done. It's the most impressive numbers of the day, because on offense for either team, 135 yards for the Cowboys, 109 for the Eagles. Haven't got much going on this cold day, final week of the season.
10 punts, 12 first downs, 6 for each team. As Sudfeld fires complete to Brent Selleck. Out at the 26, gain of 6 down to Christina.
Hey, Kenny, some injury news for the Cowboys. Chidobe Awuzie is currently in the locker room getting his shoulder x-rayed. He had that interception in the first half. And on offense for the Cowboys, left guard Jonathan Cooper has been ruled out. We saw him come off the field in the first half with a knee injury.
Thanks, Christina. Anthony Brown in for Awuzie, who had that pick earlier. Jordan Lewis in at the other corner. Second down and 4. Sudfeld hands it off to Clement.
The guys they really are going to rely on going forward on this football team. Jordan Lewis, kind of a unique guy. He's the smallest of these corners out here, but he has a skill set that they really do appreciate. Xavier Woods, he's playing in the slot. He came in as a safety, but he's playing nickelback here. Combine him with what Kayvon Frazier has done, really is taken over at safety for Byron Jones, getting a lot of snaps in this defense too. And you got to be excited about their future. I mean, you're building this defense really from the back end forward. And if you're able to retain DeMarcus Lawrence free agency, I'd be excited about this team.
Sudfeld under pressure. Down he goes. Anthony Brown, one of those guys we've been talking about. Brown in his second season out of Purdue with his first NFL sack.
I used to love this blitz. He's going to come in right here, and there's nobody accounting for him. You see Barner goes across the formation to pick up the rushing Byron Jones. So they're even up front. There's nowhere for him to go. Sudfeld tries to spin out of it, but he's no match for blitzing corner. He spun in place, really.
Says the ex-corner who finished with 28 career sacks. The only 45 interception, 25 sack man in NFL history. And a Hall of Fame semifinalist. They love you here in Philly.
No, they don't, Kenny.
A flag on the punt. So we'll keep it right here.
The city has welcomed me this weekend, though. It's been a nice trip here to the city. My wife and kids were with me. It was nice.
You snuck in quietly.
Holding, return team, number 57. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First and 10, timeout.
Cowboys offense back on the field, still scoreless. Well, Rondé, sometimes you might need security here in Philadelphia because fans certainly remember this moment back in January of 2003 NFC Championship game.
Well, I really appreciate y'all trying to get me killed leaving the stadium. Thanks for showing that. Those were good memories.
92-yard return. Closed down the bet, right?
Did. Came here that next year and opened up Lincoln with a win too. So some coaches on that Dallas sideline were here for that. Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach, was there. Rod Marinelli, the defense coordinator, was our D-line coach. So not the only one reliving. Here's Rich, my guy.
All of the Eagle fans watching are now throwing things at the television.
Yes, they are. Sorry.
Couldn't leave today without bringing that up. Second down and 6. On the pitch, it's Elliott. Another terrific effort by the Eagles defense led by Nathan Gary.
Yeah, Nathan Gary did an outstanding job here. Not only did he make the tackle, watch him take on Collins here. The right tackle knocks him to the ground, says, you know what, I still got more work to do. Get on this tackle. That's a great play. And you're playing some backup players, guys that really have just contributed on special teams all year. You get this opportunity to play. You see how important it is to this Eagles team, especially this defense, to continue their level of play.
Nathan Gary, rookie out of Nebraska, called up from the practice squad back in October. Third down and 7. Prescott throws, broken up. Intended for Bryant. The veteran Patrick Robinson makes the play.
Oh, they got so many good corners on this football team, Kenny. Patrick Robinson right here. This is a great break. He leads his team in interceptions. You can see why. He's got awesome footwork. Ball skills are outstanding as well. And I mentioned it earlier, 7 guys, 7 DBs on this team have 2 or more interceptions. He leads them with 4. Very competitive group, very productive.
Cowboys punting for the 7th straight possession. And having trouble with it is Barner. It's still loose, and then he falls on it. He had some trouble last week as well. Barner recovers inside the 5. Would you like some brought up to the broadcast booth, Rondé?
I don't have any idea whether there's that much ice anywhere today. I don't see any behind the Philly bench, though.
First carry today for Wendell Smallwood. Anthony Brown makes the tackle. Final day of 2017. It's 17 degrees. Feels like 2. I think it feels like 4, actually.
3.5 to be exact. Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Everybody bundled up in the stands. The Eagles fans were out here on Monday night, late into the evening. Win over the Raiders. Catch is made by Selleck out of the 11-yard line. We remain scoreless, and our guys, Dave Corris, Ben Ballma, Rick Camps, Matt Banovic, continue to crunch the numbers, and they tell us this is the 114th regular season meeting between the Eagles and the Cowboys. First time they ever played a scoreless first half against each other.
That's the theme of the day. It's just either offense has just failed to get anywhere near scoring position, and we got a shoe issue going on here. The play clock is still going. Still doesn't have it on. He's going to think Sudfeld's going to have to snap this in 5 seconds. He's going to have to take a timeout. I don't think I've ever seen that. He should have just went to the ref. They would have given him an equipment timeout here.
First, Charge timeout,
But
Philadelphia.
instead, the Eagles use a timeout. Back in 30 seconds. Well, Isaac Seumalo finally has his cleat back on.
Look at Chance Mormack trying to help him out. That finger's a little too thick to be used as a shoehorn, though.
The human shoehorn.
He almost took his glove off with him. Never seen that. Love it.
Third down and 2. Sudfeld hands it off. And Smallwood picks up a first down out to the 14-yard line.
And Wendell Smallwood, have not seen a lot of him all season long. I think he was the odd man out when Jay Ajayi was acquired. He brings you something. You can tell he's playing with a lot of purpose. First action of the day. He needs to pick up 2 yards, and he runs through Brown to get that first down.
And that is the first third down conversion by the Eagles in this game. Midway through the third quarter. Eagles look to win a franchise record 14th game of the season and go undefeated at home and against the NFC East. High snap. Good job by Sudfeld. And then a short gain, Marcus Johnson, after Sudfeld was able to handle that high snap.
Oh, it's a great job hauling this thing. And look, high snap. and then having the wherewithal to turn around and still drill it to his receiver. That was impressive. I mean, the little things. I mean, Kenny, in a game like this where nothing's going right, it's nice to applaud the little things that do go right. Job by Nate Sudfeld there.
Sudfeld has completed 8 of his 9 pass attempts to this point. Foles 4 of 11 in the first quarter. Second down and 9. Sudfeld near side, Johnson again. Knocked out of bounds by Anthony Brown. Marcus Johnson out of the University of Texas. He was inactive the last 5 games. Johnson picks up 6.
You can already hear the people clamoring for Nate Sudfeld, can you? He's looked good, though. He's delivered the ball on time with a crispness to his delivery. 9 of 10. He's got them out of the shadow of their end zone on this drive. Some nice, quick passing. Don't think it'll happen, but I'm sure somebody will say it tomorrow.
Now third down and 3. Sudfeld stands in the pocket, steps up, takes off, has a first down, still going. Across the 40 and out of bounds. Sudfeld gains 22.
The hardest thing for a young quarterback to do is to have a sense of the pocket, when it's closing in and when to run. He went through 3 progressions there before he decided to tuck this thing and go. This was just a great job. Look at the little elusiveness once he gets into the open field. He picks up their biggest yardage gain of the day. Well done, Nate Sudfeld.
Oh, he asked Doug Peterson about him. He said it would be ideal to get Sudfeld 3 quarters today. He said he's very smart and moves a little better than Nick Foles, which you alluded to earlier. But in Nick Foles, you have a guy who, as a flag is thrown, Foles has started 39 NFL games, including a postseason game. He was a Pro Bowl MVP, had a tremendous season back in 2013 with these Eagles.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Collins, it's clear. Doesn't look violent at all, but easy to see. Another 15 yards, and this is a drive now. Remember, this started inside the 5 after Barner muffed that punt. See 2 third down conversions on this drive, and crowd's getting into it.
Either team has penetrated deeper than the 39-yard line the entire game. Eagles with a 1st and 10 at the Cowboys 42. As Sudfeld hands it off, and tackled in the backfield was Smallwood by Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith just comes flying through here. You're going to see him just penetrate into your screen. Nobody accounts for him, and you know, he's been spending a lot of this season split time in the middle with Anthony Hitchens. His recovery from that devastating knee injury has been remarkable this season. That was a heck of a play there.
Loss of 5, now 2nd down and 15. From the Cowboys 47, play action. Sudfeld's pass gets knocked down. Dayton Jones getting a piece of it.
Right in front of you, number 56. Can't get there, just sticks his hand up, and you know, we said earlier in the game that DeMarcus Lawrence had a half of a sack. He did. Dayton Jones has been credited with that sack by himself.
First sack of the season for Jones back in the first half. Former first-round pick by the Packers.
Bounced around, hasn't he? He's been like 3 or 4 different places.
Yeah, this year, 3 different teams. Sudfeld on 3rd down, complete to Selleck, but right there to make the tackle, Byron Jones. Ball came out at the end of the play. Selleck ruled down.
I think you're right, Kenny.
Yep.
Brown calls the fumble as well.
So it is time for another punt from
Good to see he has
Chris
his pants
Jones.
on. He has his pants on.
Excuse me, Donnie Jones. Yes, his sweatpants are at the bench. Fair catch, called for, that switcher lets it go. And it bounces out of bounds at the 1. Terrific placement by Donnie Jones. Cowboys pin deep. Still no score. The inaugural Eagles Autism Challenge set for Saturday, May 19th is the team's landmark cycling and 5K run-walk event dedicated to raising critical funds for autism research and support. 100% of participant raised funds will be directed to the 3 beneficiary institutions: Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Drexel University, and Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health. Eagles players, coaches, alumni, execs, cheerleaders, and even Swoop will be fully supporting the event. Visit EaglesAutismChallenge.org. Ezekiel Elliott out to the 4-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go, third quarter, still scoreless.
Somebody's got to get a drive going. Can he get us into scoring position? I said no team has penetrated inside the 39-yard line. That's shocking on this day. Either team's not been able to run the football. Passing's been a challenge.
Second down and 7. It's Elliott. Brought down by Chris Long. Gain of 2. Third down and 5 upcoming.
Minus the 1 long run, 25 yards. It's been a grind for Ezekiel Elliott today. 64 yards have come about as tough as he's had all year, probably since that week 2 matchup. Denver, we only had 9 yards.
So he is 56 away from 1,000. Elliott split out to the right. Prescott from his end zone on third down, complete for a first down to the tight end, James Hanna. And Hanna takes it out to the 19-yard line.
This is a great catch by Hanna. Contested coverage here. Najee Good picks up. You'll see Hanna come across the route. Najee Good, the linebacker underneath, is about a fingertip away from causing an incompletion there. Nice tight window throw, though, by Dak Prescott.
Fourth catch of the season for Hanna. New set of downs for the Cowboys from the 19-yard line. Play action. Prescott with loads of time. There is a flag. Prescott moving to his left. Another flag is thrown as Prescott crosses out of bounds. And now a hat as well. 2 flags and the hat.
2 fouls on the play. Both are holding. Number 75 declined. Holding. 72 accepted. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
John Parry had already thrown his flags, and then he has to go to the hat on the second foul.
Run out of flags. You have to throw something. Sets them back even farther. And Vinny Curry over there is having a great day working on Byron Bell. That's at least the 3rd holding call on Bell today. Vinny Curry hadn't translated any of those pressures into sacks, but keeps setting up long yard situations for this Cowboys offense by beating Byron Bell in the corner.
First down at 19. Alfred Morris, nowhere to go. Again, it's Najee Good who makes the tackle.
Watch him shoot his gun right here. But right through this gap, the puller goes underneath. Tackle for 3-yard loss. This is your backup linebackers. These aren't even the Michael Kendricks on the team. These are your special teams guys. Saw the play that Gary made earlier. Very motivated defense here in Philadelphia.
Big opportunity today with many of the starters not in uniform. As Prescott fires downfield. And the catch is made by Bryce Butler, his first reception today. Gain of 30 yards for Butler.
Plenty of pressure, or plenty of time under pressure here. Makes a great throw, then a great catch on the sideline.
Fourth quarter is next. First time in just over 10 years an NFL game scoreless through 3 quarters. Seattle and Carolina, 2,577 regular season games ago. They combined for 23 points after that. As Prescott sets up the screen, it's Elliott. And he takes it all the way to the Eagles' 41-yard line.
A lot of play fakes going on this play, and Dak Prescott's going to take a hit right after he delivers this. But it was set up well, blockers out in front, and then you get your big runner. It's a little bit of room and space, gashes him down to the 41-yard line.
Gain of 22. Opening minute, fourth quarter, still no score. As Prescott throws, it's Des Bryant. And for the first time in this game, Rondé, one of the teams is inside their opponent's 39-yard line.
Well, the throw is on time, but the work after the catch is awesome. This is when Des Bryant is at his best. When you get him the ability to use his physicalness and his athleticism to do this with the ball in his hands, and finally inside the 30. You got a field goal, at least in field goal range, aren't we? Nice drive going here from Dallas. Again, started at the 1-yard line.
Gain of 12 for Des Bryant. From the 29, Elliott. And Elliott's tackle, nice play made by Corey Graham, holding Elliott just 2.
This is a great play by Corey Graham right here. Watch him weave his way through this traffic here, get back inside, get this tackle on Zeke Elliott. It almost felt like if he didn't make that tackle, he had a lot of room to expose down that right sideline.
Graham, the 11-year vet, terrific special teams player throughout his career. Second down and 9. Off the fake to Morris. Prescott was under pressure.
I want you to watch Najee Good. He's right here.
No foul for intentional grounding. Number 84 is in the vicinity.
In the vicinity of James Hanna.
Doing your job, Najee Good. Sitting in front of his responsibility, not trying to rush to the passer. He knew he had other guys putting pressure on Dak, forcing him to throw that ball on the ground. Third long again here, Kenny. Gotta imagine. I take a shot here at Des Bryant. Looks like they're in one-on-ones, a single high defense for Philadelphia.
10th play of the drive for the Cowboys. Prescott on third down, fires downfield to the end zone. There is a flag. Pass is incomplete. Douglas with the coverage on Bryant.
I think this is pretty clearly going to be pass interference, contact way down the field.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense. Number 32, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Was absolutely sure about that penalty. It came out right away. So spot foul down. They're going to mark this here. They call that illegal contact.
Yep, 23-yard line.
Inside the 23-yard line, and finally got a drive approaching the red area.
Break out the streamers. From the 23 on first down, it's Elliott. You know, we talked to many of the Cowboy players and coaches yesterday, and they talked about finishing with a win, finishing strong. The difference between 9 and 7 and 8 and 8, the momentum to carry over. As a player, does that carry over into the offseason and then next year?
Well, if you're having a terrible year, I think it does. When you're having this type of year, this hasn't been a bad year. It's just been a disappointing year for Dallas.
Second and 7. Prescott throws, end zone out of bounds. Terrence Williams, the intended receiver.
he overthrows this because of the pressure. But to get back to that point, it just the expectations were high. And you know, you asked Jason Garrett about the expectations for this year, and he mentions the guys that they lost, and it's a new team in 2017 over 16. But this is a team with great talent. Not good talent. There's some great talent. On the offensive line, your skill positions, Des Bryant, Zeke Elliott, got better on defense. Some of the guys that they lost, they improved upon with the players that they got. Be sitting here at 8-7 and clearly missing out on the playoffs. That's disappointing.
We're down at 7. Prescott throws over the middle. Touchdown. Bryce Butler.
They go all out pressure. 7 guys blitzing. Put your corners on an island one-on-one with zero help. Rasul Douglas has no chance. Watch the hit that Dak Prescott takes here. He knows he's got to stand in there and deliver. Somebody's going to be unblocked. Delivers a perfect pass. Touchdown Dallas. Finally, touchdown somebody.
Prescott to Butler, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Dan Bailey puts the extra point wide to the left. So it is 6-0 Dallas. Bailey had never missed an extra point until 2 weeks ago. His 2nd career miss in 278 opportunities. Cowboys leading the Eagles 6-0 following the first scoring play of this game, and then the missed extra point.
It's got to be like kicking a rock out there, though. Nice to watch them both kickers in pregame, and they were struggling, hitting the ball, finding the right contact. And again, I've never kicked a football in my life. I can't imagine it's easy on a day like today.
Eagles will start at their 25. Grande Sports Television lost one of its true early production legends recently. Chuck Will, a native of Philadelphia, passed away earlier this month. A veteran of World War II, longtime producer at CBS Sports, worked on more than 40 Masters, CBS Golf Classic, U.S. Open Tennis, and NFL football. Chuck Will passing away at the age of 91. All of us at Fox Sports extend our condolences to his family. As the Eagles will now start from the 25-yard line, trailing 6-0. Sudfeld throws. That's intended for Selleck, with Anthony Brown defending. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Cowboys drove 99 yards on their last possession as we take one more look.
Selleck's trying to get an active. That was a bang-bang play. Good job by Brown coming back into the fold, the deep corner. Having to react on that 2nd level throw. Good job. And again, it's just an example of what these guys have at good corner now. And a chance to showcase them through the latter part of the season. They've all stepped up and played well.
2nd and 10, Smallwood. Smallwood out to the 30-yard line. 3 minutes in, 4th quarter. We head to Los Angeles for a game break. Say hello to Kurt Menefee.
All right, looks like Minnesota's going to join the Eagles as the other NFC team with that first-round bye. Case Keenum hooking up with Stephon Diggs and a 15-yard score. They're kind of on cruise control starting the 4th quarter. 23-7 over the Bears. If they win, they're the number 2 seeds officially. Kenny, Rondé, and Christina.
You know, it's fascinating, Rondé. You'll have the top 2 seeds if the Vikings hang on, with the quarterbacks who did not begin the season as the starter. Nick Foles here in Philadelphia, Case Keenum in Minnesota as the potential top 2 seeds in the NFC. Catch is made by Mac Hollins. But Evan Wickery drives him out of bounds. Looks to be just short of the first down marker.
I think you're right about that spot. They're going to spot him short. A lot of pressure by Sudfeld, but he delivers a nice ball. And Benet Wickery keeps him just a yard. He couldn't extend his arms because Wickery had his arms pinned to his body. The punting unit again comes out for the Eagles, and Dallas defense rising to the occasion again. 2 of 10 on 3rd down the Eagles are today. It's not good enough to get any kind of momentum going.
Backpedaling as Switzer takes it out to 16. 12-yard return out to the 28. With the Cowboys leading the Eagles 6-0. Well, Rondé, you talk about backup quarterbacks who've gone to the Super Bowl. Earl Morrall, Jim Plunkett with the Raiders. Doug Williams, of course, Washington Redskins, all Super Bowl winners. Jeff Hostetler, who replaced Phil Simms. Kurt Warner for the injured Trent Green with the Rams. And then Tom Brady after he replaced Drew Bledsoe in New England.
Now it's on that guy. Nick Foles taking this game, played the first quarter. Not very effective, nor was the offense, but a lot of that can be blamed on weather, a lot of things. Neither offense has done well today.
Prescott's pass nearly intercepted, intended for Witten. Again, it's Nathan Gary, and it'll be fascinating, Rondé, these playoffs in the NFC. As we take one more look, you'll have Drew Brees and Cam Newton, either Matt Ryan or Russell Wilson in the postseason, the youngster Jared Goff, and then with the Eagles and the Vikings are winning their game 23-7, so most likely they will clinch the number 2 seed with the backups, Nick Foles and Case Keenum. Foles, as we mentioned, did start a playoff game against New Orleans following the 2013 season for Philadelphia. Here's Elliott. Elliott out across the 30.
All good information, Kenny. How about that backhanded almost interception by Gary? You were talking over his replays. That was a good play by him.
Sure was.
But yeah, you're right, Kenny. The NFC is hard to pick right now. I come in saying this team, obviously, because they have the road at home. Everybody's got to come through here. It's a tough place to play. If it gets cold and windy and it's a night game, watch out. The way they play defense.
We're down at 7. Elliott dives for the marker. Needed to get to the 38-yard line, and he'll be just short.
Gary here again gets caught in space, having to get Ezekiel Elliott to the ground. I think he gets just enough of him to trip him up. They're sending out the punt unit, so yeah. Good series for Nathan Gary. Seen a couple of nice plays from this young player.
th punt of the game following the 12th 3 and out. I know you've been counting, Rondé.
It's tough to play in these games, Ken. That's all I'm going to say. End of the season.
How do you think it was playing for the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets? They were the first team to ever win 14 games. They played right here in Philadelphia, and the Eagles wore their throwback uniforms in 2007. The 1926 Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. Their last season of play was 1931 in this city, and then the Eagles' first season was 2 years later in 1933. We'll look at what the teams with at least 14 wins have done in the postseason. Patriots were the last 3 to win the Super Bowl, and somebody brought their Frankfurt Yellow Jacket throwback jersey to the game today. Sudfeld, Smallwood. Wendell Smallwood picks up an Eagles first down.
Good recognition there by Nate Sudfeld. Scat protection, meaning he's not staying in the block. He's an option in the pass route. Sudfeld recognizes he's going to be under duress, but he has a scatting back, so he gets it right to him. First down, nice play.
All the Eagles players and coaches we've talked to, getting to 14 wins was important, even though this game does not mean anything as far as playoff seeding or positioning. They talked about finishing 14-2, best record in franchise history, unbeaten at home. Trail 6-0. Nice touch from Sudfeld, complete to Marcus Johnson out at the 49.
How about Marcus Johnson coming onto the scene here? This DB's going to fall down on him. So if he's wide open, all Nate Sudfeld has to do is not overthrow him.
We asked Nick
Another nice game.
Foles, Rondé, about Johnson. He said he had a great camp. He had high hopes for Marcus Johnson, and he's made some nice catches today. Sudfeld rolling to his right. There is a flag, and then he throws it out of bounds.
There's a bad hold on the edge there. This was an easy one.
Holding. Offense for 66. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the longtime New York Giant who's making his Eagles debut today, Will Beatty.
See it. As soon as Nate Sudfeld starts to scramble, grabs and holds. 66 on 66.
Beatty signed by the Eagles last month. Grew up in York, Pennsylvania.
He's a depth player. He's had plenty of snaps in the NFL. Will Beatty has.
Yeah, 63 career starts with the Giants. So the ball spotted at the 38. It will be first down and 20.
They want to get to that 14-win threshold. They got 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. They're going to have to put a drive together, see if we can start here on this first and long.
On the screen, Sean Lee, what a play. As he comes in to make the tackle on Wendell Smallwood.
Just watch him. Just watch him work. The way he moves in space, got great footwork, great balance, reaction time. He's sticking his foot in the ground and transitioning before that ball is even thrown to Smallwood. And then when I put on the film of the Dallas Cowboys, I love the way he tackles. Head up, chest on chest. Guys go down when they hit him.
He's gone to the last 2 Pro Bowls. Sean Lee, second down and 19, another high snap. Sudfeld fires, complete. In Cowboys territory, it's Mac Hollins. Gain of 12 to the Dallas 49. Under 7 minutes remaining, 6-0 Cowboys. Coming into the game, Eagles 18 points shy of setting a franchise record for points in a season. They have been blanked so far today.
Get to games like this and it's cold and really what are you playing for? But it's this point in the game, Kenny, this 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, get to that 5-minute threshold where everybody's blood pressure starts to rise. You start feeling that how long we're going to be out here. We're just going to chase this win. That's what Eagles are going to try to do now.
3rd and 7. Catch is made, but shy of a first down as Van Wickery makes the tackle on Shelton Gibson. Gibson, that's his first catch in the NFL, rookie out of West Virginia. Eagles offense will remain on the field, 4th down and 2.
Make it, go for it. This is important to get this win. Why not go for this? I said earlier in the game, they've done it a ton this season, most in the NFL.
They need 2 yards. And it's broken up. Xavier Woods makes the play, so the Cowboys will get the ball back with 5.5 remaining, leading by 6. Well, they have to credit the folks who are hanging in there.
Faithful. I love it. There won't be this few here in 2 weeks.
So, Eagles have clinched the #1 seed. Best record of the NFC. Worst to first, last place a season ago. Here's Elliott on first down. Down to the 48. Vikings lead the Bears under 10 minutes remaining, 23-7 to win, and they will clinch the #2 seed. Atlanta,
These are the 2 teams. Right?
in with a win.
Those are the 2 teams. Seattle needs Atlanta to lose. Obviously, they play at home to Arizona later in the afternoon. Same time that Atlanta is playing Carolina. Good afternoon football coming up, Kenny.
2 spots still available in the AFC as well. Second down and 5. Bryant breaks free, picks up a first down, and then is tackled by Rasul Douglas.
Dez is always emotional, isn't he? He's a hair away from scoring on this play. Douglas gets him on the ground, and listen to his comments this week. We already mentioned him, how frustrated he clearly is, but still how confident he is in his abilities. And I'm a believer, if you give him the opportunities, his physical gifts will outshine.
Elliott gains a yard down to the 43-yard line. Here's Dez last week, game against Seattle.
Well, play with a lot of emotion, but he had two bad plays that contributed to them losing this football game. And that last one, the ball was definitely behind him. But a guy of that caliber, the type of hands and the playmaking ability that he possesses, expect big things from him. That drop, the fumble, and that drop tip interception, two huge plays in that loss to Seattle last week.
3 catches today. This is Morris.
Well, they may not get away with a win here today, yet to be seen, but they have done their job, this defense, with Ezekiel Elliott.
Timeout taken by the Eagles. Elliott needed 120 yards for 1,000 coming into the game. He is at 77. Well, Rondé, it's the singing competition that starts with the 4 best singers. The 4 battle for stardom. The panel includes Sean Diddy Combs, DJ Khaled, Meghan Trainor, Charlie Walk, and it's hosted by Fergie. The vocal comeback begins Thursday, right here on Fox. So the 4 best singers, and we'll have the 4 division winners in the NFC heading to the postseason, including these Philadelphia Eagles. There are only 2 losses this year. On the road, Kansas City, Seattle. Kansas City back in week 2 against old friend Andy Reid. 3rd down and 5. Prescott throws complete for a 1st down. It's Ryan Switzer as he signals 1st down. Tremendous job by our entire crew all season long. We're with them for 3 days every weekend. Our leader, producer Barry Landis, director Scott Katz, associate director Joe Williams, our broadcast associate Cody Novak. Technical producer is Ron McGuggins, our technical director Kyle Collins. Great job as always by Robert Levy in video, Dan Conair, Brian Umverzat in tape, Blair Gretzky in graphics. Our statisticians, Rick Camps, Dave Corris, spotter Ben Bulmer. Our guys up here in the booth, Don Warner on audio, Tim Dunn in the truck. Dominic Tringali with us today in Philadelphia as Elliott is tackled at the 25-yard line, and all of the cameramen and women bringing the elements today in Philadelphia.
It all goes too quick, Kenny. 17 weeks seems like a long time, but it goes quick.
Sure does.
But what that means is playoff football is right around the corner, and I think that's what everybody gets excited about. So it's been a pleasure working with this crew.
The best.
Look forward to it again.
2nd down and 4. It is Elliott, and he will pick up a 1st down. As we wind down to the 2-minute warning. With the Cowboys leading the Eagles 6-0 here at the Link. Back in a moment. Doug Peterson shaking hands with a couple of the officials. Certainly one of the top coach of the year candidates this season in the NFL.
Got to be either him or Sean McVay. There's some other ones. Jacksonville.
Mike Zimmer,
Minnesota. But he's done a great job here. I know we started the season with this team, and there was a lot of questions about him in this offense, but he's been fantastic.
Here's Elliott. He's inside the 10, out of bounds at the 9.
If you're wondering about his chase for 120, doesn't have enough room on the football field to get it, I don't think. But I do believe he's going to be over 100 yards with 1 more yard. That was prior to that last rush. This graphic you're seeing, he's 24 for 99 at the moment. They had a goal. Don't let them get to 120. Only 8 yards left. You can't get to 120.
Yep. Unless they take a couple of penalties. Here's Elliott. By the way, these teams played each other back on January 3rd, 2010. Cowboys won the game 24-0. That was the last Cowboys shutout and the last time the Eagles were shut out. January 2010. Eagles used their last timeout.
This hasn't exactly been a barn burner, Kenny, on either side, either coach. And I know that whole mantra that you're playing for nothing. Little victories that could be had in a game like this. And as it stands right now, Dallas looks like they're going to be the ones that come away with that either emotional or that prideful victory that they were looking for.
But it's the Eagles who will be heading to the postseason.
I think that's even more important. They would gladly switch places.
On second and goal, the toss to Elliott. Elliott inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Bonus coverage coming up. Vikings and the Bears. Vikings will clinch a bye and the number 2 seed with a win, just over 8 minutes remaining. And you really have to feel for Carson Wentz. What a season. And by the way, happy birthday. Turned 25 yesterday, but he could only watch throughout this, what the Eagles and their fans hope is a long postseason run all the way to Minneapolis.
And hopefully he's not frustrated by it. I know I've seen a lot of injuries in the NFL this year. This was probably the biggest one as far as players and their impact on their team, the way he was playing this year.
Third and goal, it's Elliott. And Elliott will not get there.
He almost gave away 100 yards here. I mean, he went back at least 6 yards before he picked up 1.
Eagles out of timeouts. Last time the Eagles were shut out at home, December 2005, 42-0 by Seattle.
Well, all they can do now is get ready to start this playoff chase. Week off next week for Doug Peterson and his football team.
And he plans to run one padded practice, which is allowed, 1 per week in the postseason.
Yep.
But the Eagles, the champions of the NFC East here in 2017. Giants made the coaching change. Rough year for Eli Manning. Not start the game in Oakland. What will happen in Washington with Jay Gruden and Kirk Cousins? The Elliott suspension, the cloud over the Cowboys season. Would he be suspended? When would the suspension take place? And what can the Eagles do in the postseason without potential league MVP Carson Wentz? And the fans were chanting MVP when he went out with the captains for the coin toss earlier today. So here's Bailey with 16 seconds remaining. He missed an extra point earlier. Missed 2 field goals last week against Seattle. 23-yard attempt from the left hash. Bailey's kick is wide left.
Wasn't quite as bad as the first one, but it's still a bad miss.
So the Eagles offense back out onto the field, Rondé, with 13 seconds remaining.
I guess you can run some kind of crazy play and cover 80 yards and sneak away with the victory.
Philadelphia out of timeouts. Trailing 6-0 with 13 seconds remaining.
Go, completion and bounds, game over.
Sudfeld from the shotgun. Pass is caught. Out of bounds. Trey Burton with 7 seconds. Very impressive performance by Nate Sudfeld in his NFL debut. He's 17 of 21.
we saw the calmness that these guys talk about with him. Unfazed by the situation, unfazed by the pressure he faced. Really not that many poor throws. The only thing he hasn't done is move this team into scoring position, but like I said, it's been a tough day in that regard for both teams.
Pass is caught out of bounds with 1 second remaining is Smallwood. Well, they're giving the fans the money's worth.
That was a long 6-7 seconds right there. Hail Mary time, Kenny.
Cowboys drop 7 back deep. Stanford band nowhere in sight. Play clock winding down. And they'll take the penalty.
Play again. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
They had a lot to talk about in the huddle.
I don't know. Nate probably doesn't have a lot of experience running this type of final play operation here, but you can usually tell you get three guys on one side. This close proximity is probably going to be the hook and ladder and all the other stuff. I hated these situations when I was playing.
All right, here we go. How many Eagles will touch it? Johnson sends it back, and now it's in the hands of Daniel Ross. Ball comes loose. It's picked up by Mac Hollins, and Sudfeld winds up with it again, and he's tackled back at the 2-yard line by Byron Jones, and that will end the regular season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Rondé, Happy New Year. It's been a great season.
Likewise,
can't wait to do
partner.
it again. Christina as well. Doug Peterson smiling despite the defeat. They head to the playoffs to the State Farm Game Break with Kurt and the gang.